Hey guys, welcome back to the Truth Talk podcast. I'm back here with MI.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Today we're going to be talking about Offset versus QC. He's having problems with his record label, and we're going to get into that. Then we're going to be discussing aliens. I've already told you guys a while back that I'll give you my opinion on aliens, and MI actually has a completely different opinion than me when it comes to aliens. So we're going to be talking about that as well. And then the last thing we're going to be talking about is the Hellfire Club. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have heard about the Hellfire Club with the Stranger Things. Many of you don't know that the Hellfire Club is actually a real organization, goes back long ago. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the Offset situation. I know some of you guys probably seen this already. It's all over the internet right now. Offset is suing QC, and this is the second time the Migos, well, at least this time is Offset, but he's a part of the Migos as well. But it's the second time that the Migos have had a situation with this record label. Me and Emma were just speaking about this. You were just telling me that QC is like a top tier label, that you would think that they're so top quality, right?
Yeah, I would have thought that QC was taking better care of the artists, man, and not robbing them.
When you look at the record labels from the outside, and you see these artists jeweled up, all this money being thrown around, all these nice cars, that gives you that illusion. You think, oh, these record labels really taking care of their artists, you know? But the thing is that's the facade. That facade is not only for the people that are seen from the outside, it's also for the artists. They do this on purpose. Not only is this how they manipulate the artists by hanging these contracts over them, making them sign these and giving them these large advances. This way, now they're in a large amount of debt. But on top of this, it's the same way they're able to sell this baller lifestyle to the fans. So they're killing two birds with one stone. So what they're doing is affecting two people at the same time. They're able to convince the fans that these artists are bigger than life, have everything in the world, are rich. And then they're able to trick the artists that they have to look like this. This is how you have to look. You have to live this lifestyle. You have to waste this money in order to keep up with the rest of the artists if you want to sell records.
Yeah, man. But, I thought that the Migos was the first group that QC ever signed. And they're the reason why he's up there where he's at right now. So for him to go and rob them and not pay them millions of dollars is ridiculous. He's kind of doing what Birdman did with Lil Wayne.
The first artists of the record labels are usually the ones that get robbed the most, because these are the artists that the record label need to get the most money out of. For example, Juice WRLD and Little Bibby. Juice WRLD has been gone for years now, and the record label is still using Juice WRLD to survive, to make money, because that's their biggest artist. And that's the only artist that they probably had on one of the worst kind of deals where the record label was getting like the most money out of it. You gotta understand, if you're a brand new artist and you just signed that record deal and you had no money and I'm giving you a bunch of money, you don't see no wrong. You don't really start looking into things when your money runs out and then you can't get no more money. That's when the situation becomes a bigger problem, because the artist starts to realize, I've worked all so hard, I've made so much money, but where's my money? And I'm pretty sure that's what happened with the Migos. The Migos started looking through their records and they realized that not only were they missing money, but their lawyers were actually working illegally. QC managed to trick the Migos into using the same lawyer that the record label would use, which is against the law. The whole Migos were trying to sue QC due to conflict of interest. They were saying that the lawyer that QC recommended the Migos was actually the same lawyer that was secretly working with QC. And this meant that that lawyer was bending the contract in the favor of the record label. The Migos were being robbed secretly because the record label had told this lawyer, act like you're in their interest, when in reality, you're giving us all the best parts of the contract. We get more money, we get more rights, and that's how this works. All they have to do is keep the artist happy. If every time the artist comes to you and you give them a little check, the artist is happy. Now, when that check stops coming because the artist ain't doing that good, but the artist knows, well, my record sale says I've sold these many records. I know I got at least a few million at the record label. When they go back to the label and the label's showing them expenses, telling them, well, this is your percentage, that's when these artists start to realize they sold their soul and they're not rich. They're just like everybody else. They're an employee. The record label is the only one that's ever truly going to be rich unless they want you to be more than what you are. If you're just an artist that's going to be a phase, they're not going to invest time and money into you and keep you at the top, let's say like a Drake or an Eminem or a Rihanna. These artists are forever profitable. Amigos is a momentary thing. They were hot for some time, but they're never going to be hot forever. That was the type of music of that era. Their time has passed, and now they're still looking for that money. These contracts are slave contracts. They're made so that the artist cannot ever recoup. And if they do recoup, they try to find techniques to sign them into worse deals, to try to give them more money. That's when you hear the artist, oh, I just signed a $15 million deal. They gave him $8-9 million in advance. So now how hard do you think that artist has to work to make them $8-9 million back?
A lot. He gonna work real hard, but we got similar situations. We got Lil Wayne, Big Sean. I thought he was gonna be a huge artist. And Kanye West did the same thing to him. He robbed him. I think he owes him like $6 million, he said.
Sadly, that's the reality of the music industry. When you're trying to get in, you don't even care about what they're telling you. You don't even care to read that contract.
You just want that bag.
Exactly. You want to change that lifestyle, and you're willing to do anything. And that's when most of these artists, that's where they sell out. A lot of these guys, they talk about honor and all this stuff, but they get to the point where they're in the room, they don't even care to look at what the contract says. The contract can say, you are my property, and they'll still sign it because they know they're willing to do whatever it takes to make it, even if that means selling their soul. Offset, his situation now just proves that QC is the whole music industry together. But QC, we've already seen the same signs, like you said, of Birdman. Birdman robbed all his artists. This is not even alleged at this point because he went to court and they had to fight for his money back.
He said on the interview how he paid Lil Wayne all his money back already. So right there, pretty much, he already admitted to owing them that money.
Exactly. That right there is a perfect example of the music industry being too good to be true. There's so many people that watch my channel that are artists and they know everything I say, but they're still willing to do anything to make it. They're still willing to give their soul to the record label because they really, truly believe that once they sign that deal, everything's gonna change. But there's so many examples. Lil Xan, Skinny from the Nine, Kid Boo, all these artists that got signed, their careers went nowhere. And the little bit of money that they did make when they were hot and relevant, the record labels kept it all. And that's how the record business works. Unfortunately, it's just a vulture business.
Listen, these artists don't understand. They don't understand that the record labels are the biggest scam in hip hop right now. They're the biggest scam. So you're going to sign that deal. You're going to owe them a bunch of money. You might never pay them all that money you owe them. And like you said before, they got you in their pocket. They own you. All the artists out there, do your homework, do your research, and make sure y'all make that right decision. Because once you win, you win.
They sign artists that make money and that they can control because at the end of the day, they have an agenda. The whole QC situation, it's just a wake-up call to artists. I'm not saying not to sign a deal. I'm not telling you what to do with your career. I'm just simply letting you know that the record label is already proven. It shows us time and time again. It's here to rob the artist. It's not in the favor of the artist. It would never be. It's not in the business of making great artist music and making good money. That's not how it works. It's all about the money, and it's all going into the record label's behalf.
Why do you think every artist wants to buy themselves out of a deal after a certain amount of time?
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what Offset is talking about. This is why he's suing QC now. He is stating that he personally tried to buy himself out of his deal. QC said yes. He paid them the money that they offered, that they asked him. Even after he paid them, he said that they're not allowing him to go solo, and they're not allowing him to have the rights to his solo career.
All I'm saying is the record labels are the worst decision. The record labels are the worst decision an artist can make.
Not for every artist, but definitely for most, especially now in our current world. In our current world, definitely, you don't need a record label to necessarily go viral and pick up a fan base and make hundreds of $1,000s a year, maybe even $1 million a year. But if you want to be, this big superstar, pop star, yes, you need the record labels, but you're also going to need to give them your soul. If that's a price you're willing to pay, then that's the route you can go. Let's move on. The next thing, we're going to talk about why I don't believe aliens are real.
And I do.
Yeah, and he does. And I'm not judging anyone who believes in aliens or not, because that's not what I'm here for. And I'm not the end-all, be-all. So I don't think that I have all the answers or anything. This is just my opinion. This is just what I believe. And I understand there's a lot of valid points that people make, and I would be crazy to say that they're not valid points. It's just as a spiritual person, and not only a spiritual person, just not believing everything I hear and everything that is told to me is the reason why I just don't believe in aliens. In my opinion, I believe that we refer to aliens and they're just demonic spirits or demonic entities, because that's what the Bible tells us. The Bible doesn't say that aliens are demons, but it speaks about these demons basically interfering in life and coming in and being involved in our world. The depiction of these aliens, if you look at what they depict aliens at, clearly looks like a demonic being. To me, an alien looks like a demonic being. What we draw it as, what we represent it as in movies and TV shows, the Masons portraying them that way. If aliens were real and they never ever came to Earth and we never saw them, does it even matter? Answer that question.
No, but it also doesn't make sense to believe that we're the only living species in the galaxy. So, I think that aliens are real. I don't think that they're demons. I just think that they're different. They're different species than us. And yes, they come to visit because their technology is thousands of years ahead of ours. When some people tell me, hey, aliens are demons or aliens are fake, why? The ancient Egyptians used to draw them on the pyramids. If you look good, you see they drew aliens. They drew the aliens coming out of the sky, them looking up at them. So, they definitely real. We got a lot of people that seen them, been abducted, everything.
Still, it is said by NASA that aliens don't exist. Well, they don't say that they don't exist. It says that there's never been any contact with any extraterrestrial life. So, technically speaking, none of those admissions of aliens have been proven. The government would want to prove aliens because it goes against everything that God has spoken. I've said this before. If aliens are real, then God can't be. If aliens are real, right, then that means that they would have their own species. So would they have their own gods?
Yes, of course. They probably got their own gods. They got their own way of living just like us.
If God says, if we believe in one God and God says that there is no other God, doesn't that kind of disregard that right there? If aliens are real, number one, I don't see any reason why an alien would come over here to Earth. If they can travel from whatever planet they're at, unless they were coming here to destroy us.
The same way we're sending people to Mars, to space for alien contact. The thing is, the government would never want us to know these things due to the religious people.
No, I think they want us to believe in aliens.
Now, but that's now. Think about it. Ever since Donald Trump took office and he signed a bill or whatever it was for them to reveal the truth about aliens, that's the only time they actually came out on CNN, the Navy, everybody, Air Force wants to reveal.
There's been years of talk about unidentified objects and the government this and that, but it's that I'm not disregarding anything you're saying. I understand that, yes, there can be endless life in the universe. But the thing is that if I believe in God and God doesn't tell me that there's any aliens, I'm not worried about aliens. I'm not even thinking that they exist. I'm more focused on what's going on here. And if aliens were here, then of course I'll definitely be worried about that. But the thing is that there is no proof that they ever came.
We got crash sites, we got bodies recovered, but they're not gonna say this. You have certain people that go out their way and do secret interviews and they expose what they saw, what they recovered at the crash sites, everything. And then you got the people that are gonna lie to us because the government said, hey, they can't know.
If you're anything like me, then you already know that the government, number one, against God. The government are the Freemason. The Freemasons have been against God since the beginning. Why would the government want us to not believe in aliens and think that aliens are not real? The moment that people see aliens are real, more people are going to stop believing in God.
That's the thing. And you got the people that are like super religious, right? Let's just say when they see aliens or they know aliens are real, they're going to lose their mind. While the other 50-60% of the world accepts them, you're going to have a bunch of the other 40 to 50% who doesn't accept them, which is going to cause total chaos. So they got to do it the right way. You understand?
I don't think that's going to happen. There's a reason why we have an obsession with aliens. They're the ones that have even been showing us them and bringing it up in pop culture. They're the ones that create our movies. They're the ones that put the idea out there. Neither of us are wrong or right. It's impossible for me or you to know this answer. It's impossible. I would be lying to you if I said I know 100% aliens aren't real. I know that 100% I don't believe aliens are real, but I can't tell you that 100% aliens don't exist because I can't. It's impossible. I've never seen them and I have no way of proving that they're not real. It's impossible to determine something like that.
So look, even if you don't believe in them, right? You don't feel that we can't be the only life. It doesn't make sense that we're the only life. Think about that. We're the only life when there's hundreds and thousands of different galaxies. And
you believe God created the planet, right?
Yes.
So if God created the planet and God didn't tell us that there's other planets and there's other aliens and there's all this other stuff that the government is telling us, if in order to believe in aliens, we have to believe in science, correct?
I guess you could say that, but...
And aliens or in science is a direct opposite of religion, correct?
Yeah.
So God tells us he created the world, and science tells us that the world was created out of chaos. Those are the 2 points of view. You believe that the world is just an accident. It happened because of rocks exploding and atoms and all this nonsense that they want you to believe in science. What I believe is God created this world. At first, it was supposed to be our paradise, but then we turned it into something else. I feel like we turned it into a test. I don't think we're here to live life. I feel like we're here to take a test to see who's eligible, who's able to go to heaven. I feel like aliens are defecting this point or going against this point. I don't believe in aliens, but I'm not telling you guys not to. But I'm just telling you why I don't believe in it. Can there be other life out there in the universe? Like I said, I am personally never going to go to space. I am personally never going to fly to any other planet. And I am personally never going to see it for myself. Now, you might say that the same thing about God. Well, how do you believe in God if you can't see God? The thing is, I pray and I actually receive what I prayed for. I ask God to help, and God proves to me time and time again that he's there for me because I actually believe in him. I actually know he exists. And most people are afraid of doing that because of the commitment that it comes with saying, okay, God is real, and now I have to answer for my sins. I have to answer for the things that I've done. Believing in aliens defects that. That's it. If aliens are real, God can't be real.
All right, I believe in God, but I don't believe in the Bible. I believe in a God. I know God is real. I just don't believe in the Bible, how Adam and Eve came here and just two people created. How did those two people create all this life? How did they create all these different races? From those two people, how do we have Chinese, white, black, Indians?
People are formed by their environment. So if Adam and Eve would have multiplied the world and they would have spread around the world, wherever they reproduce, let's say they go to a place where it's so cold and, their bodies and their skin tones, everything has to adapt over time to that condition. The same thing like if you were in the sun, you might develop darker skin. We evolve with our conditions. I believe in the Bible because I believe that, like I said, this is a test and there's only going to be a set of rules. And that one set of rules, whether you want to follow them or not, is the Bible. That's my belief, though. I'm not saying anyone else is wrong because, like I said,
and I respect.
I don't judge nobody, and I cannot come at nobody for wanting to find God in a different way.
I agree.
God tells us not to judge.
We all believe in God in our own ways. You never judge anyone from what I see.
Like you said, you don't believe in the Bible. I understand. There's plenty of people that don't believe in the Bible. And when I was younger, of course, I had questions for the Bible as well. But to this day, I believe that the Bible are instructions. People read the Bible and they don't understand what they're reading and they don't comprehend what they get out of it. It's just instructions to make sure you do the right thing before you exit. If God is real and the Bible is what God left, right? If you don't better yourself while you're down here and do what God wants you to do, become a person that better serves him and a person that represents him, then you're going to end up in a burning end. Now, if the Bible isn't real and you do what the Bible says, what ends up happening to you?
Nothing.
Exactly my point. If God isn't real and the Bible is just a bunch of nonsense, nothing happens but the fact that you were acting as a good person while you were here. You're probably going to have more friends. You're probably going to have a better life. You're probably going to have a better wife. You're probably going to have a better everything because that's all the Bible is telling us to do. Don't hurt your neighbors. Don't steal. Don't be evil. These are the things that the Bible is telling you. It's not asking you for more than that. It's just that most people are afraid of that very thing. Why would you want to listen to the Bible and do what the Bible is telling you to do if it stops you from doing what you want to do?
No, I know what you're saying, but I just feel like since the Bible was written by man and not God himself, I can't really relate to it,
So you don't believe that God has prophets?
Not really. I believe in God. I know that we just didn't appear out of nowhere, and I believe in God, I don't believe in the Bible. I can't because, like I said, man wrote the Bible. I live a good life. I'm a good person. I'm good to everybody around me. I respect everybody. I don't do any harm to anybody. And I feel like that alone should get me into heaven. I'm a good man. I believe in heaven. I believe in hell. I just can't believe too much in the Bible, how it's like it's telling us to do so many things. I actually never read the Bible. I just listened to a couple scriptures online.
If you never read the Bible, then you don't truly know what it's telling you. The way I see the Bible is, like I said, it's instructions. Don't listen to others talk about the Bible. Pick up a Bible, make sure it's the right one, read it. The beginning of the Bible alone speaks so much. It gives you so much knowledge just off the first few hundred pages. God is the only one that's going to help you get to the level you want to be.
No, I agree. Listen, I believe in God a lot. I just don't believe in the Bible, but I pray every day. Thank God for the good.
And I understand. And like I said, I'm not expecting you to change your mind. I don't believe in aliens because of my spiritual belief. I believe that when aliens are being presented to us, they're being presented as fallen angels.
I seen a documentary about the Freemasons. It was just about nothing but aliens, how George Washington was communicating with them and all these things. And I always felt like the Masons are only about that type of agenda. Like, they say God, but I think it's aliens, so
So you think that the Masons worship aliens?
yes, that's what I feel like.
Again, even if this is true, I still see the aliens as fallen angels. So I already believe that the Freemasons are working hand in hand with fallen angels. There's so much Egyptian imagery, like symbolism, a lot of Egyptian symbols when it comes to the Freemasons. So that makes sense. Like, I find that believable if the aliens represent fallen angels, because it makes sense. They were worshiping them in Egyptian times. It's believed that they gave them all this advanced technology. So it's very believable. I see what you're saying about that. I'll have to look into that, and maybe I can make a full video on that. Now let's move on. I wanted to talk about the Hellfires Club. The Hellfires Club, I'm pretty sure some of you guys have seen this in Stranger Things. They're selling the shirts now everywhere. The shirts can be found literally everywhere. And it's a big thing now. But what people don't know is that the Hellfire Club is actually a really old organization. It started all the way back 18th century. And just like the Freemasons and the Illuminati, they would have these secret parties, these secret clubs where they had their rituals. And it was the top of the top tier people. We're talking about high society, the same thing that we see now. The reason I want to bring this up is for two reasons. This has been going on since forever, since the Egyptians. These type of ritual parties and events where they're worshiping these gods and these deities, this is what has been going on, this paganism, since then. And this is what the hierarchy of Freemasonry represents. We're talking about the Order of the Golden Dawn, the Scottish Rite Masons, and the Shriners. These are what these Masons represent. This is their agenda once they get to a certain level. This is what they find out. These ritual parties are being done for a reason. They're able to get away with the most disturbing things because they're so secretive. It brings up the question, if people don't believe in Freemasonry or the Illuminati or any of this type of secret society, why is it that most of the people that run our world since ancient times, since the 18th century, we've been seeing proof that high society serves a different agenda and they all meet with each other and talk with each other? You don't find that suspicious?
Of course. And not only suspicious because a lot of people don't believe it, but it's in our face. Like, it's right there. You got the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, families like this that are the most powerful that run the world since the 1800s off of oil. And the richest families are attending these parties, doing all these rituals. And
that's what goes on at these parties. Like, I did a video and I had a bunch of celebrities. They were all talking about that similar type of experience, about being invited into these mansion parties. And when they get to these mansion parties, all they see is a bunch of disgusting stuff that I definitely can't say on YouTube because of community guidelines. But that's what these rituals are for, because even Aleister Crowley had rituals this way. Marina Abramovich had several rituals. You guys can go watch that video if you want to hear some disgusting rituals, because she has some disgusting rituals. And people just see it as art. That's what I find funny. They think that is art.
nah, there's no art in that at all.
There is no art, no. One of these clubs, the way that the Hellfire Clubs work is there was several clubs over time. One of the Hellfire Clubs was started in 1718 by a guy named Philip Duke of Wharton. The supposed president of the club was the devil himself. Like, this is literally what it's saying here on Wikipedia at that. Like, I didn't even have to search too hard, but it's that no one even looks up what's the Hellfire Club. Did you know what the Hellfire Club was?
No, not at all.
Yeah, you never heard of it. I only heard of this about maybe a year ago. I have forgotten because I didn't remember until the Stranger Things. When I saw the Stranger Things, it quickly clicked in my mind. And I was like, I remember seeing the Hellfire Club name somewhere. Why would they add this secret devil-worshipping club to a kid's show? Well, it's a teen show like Stranger Things. This is the imagery that they're putting out there. They're engraving these secret clubs, these demonic clubs, into content for kids.
But you know that that's all a part of the agenda, man. They wanna put that out there for our kids to see and make it look as nothing, make it look like it's all a joke. But really, it's really some real stuff going on, So we gotta just keep the kids enlightened and let them know, like, yo, this stuff ain't good.
These parties have been popping up for centuries. Like, we had the Surrealist Party. These events are still going on to this day. They're still going on in Hollywood. We're never gonna truly know what goes on at these events. We could only know what gets out. But as you can see, the industry has been working the same way since the 1700s. Anybody that's at the top of the world, who's been making money, who's been high society, has been doing rituals, has been hanging out with other rich, high society people. It makes it clear that the richest people all worship the devil, and that's how they became the richest people. Now, I'm not saying that every rich person in the world sold their soul or worships the devil, but as you can see, the people of high society, the real billionaires and the real wealth,
the real rich, not these 150 million, 200 million, nah, the real.
The real rich worship the devil, And they have been doing it, passing it down for so long, and it's not going to change. Because if we go back in history, Lucifer was the one to offer even Jesus the world to bow down to him. And that's what he offers every single one of us. If you want the world, just bow down and I'll let you have it all. And that's exactly what the billionaires do. They don't have a soul no longer. What they have is endless money. Money that could only be used here on earth. Money that can't save them from the fate that comes after this. This is the reality though. They want it all. They want to be gods. And being a billionaire sure makes you feel like a god on earth. You have endless power, endless control, and you can get anything you want. But when it matters, your billions can't do nothing for you. And I'm gonna end it right there. Thank you guys for joining us today for this podcast episode. I truly appreciate every single one of you. Just want to remind you guys again that there's going to be 3 Truth Talk episodes with me alone every week and 3 to 4 podcast episodes with me and MI. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
I just wanted to give a special shout out to the Truth Movement members. I truly appreciate every single one of you. If you would like to further support the channel, join the Truth Movement, or you can join me on Patreon where I drop exclusive videos monthly. The link would be in the description. Another way you can further support the channel is by checking out the Truth store and seeing if you find anything you like. Every purchase you make helps with the funding of Truth Records. The link to the Truth store is also in the description. Also, please leave a comment on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. If you like this video, please leave a like as it helps other people find these videos. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram and follow me there. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.